The matter is going to start in 5 seconds. Be ready. Start. Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, a lot of what I have to say today is more descriptive than prescriptive. Let me begin by conceding really that the mismanagement of the overall price economics in this country may not be as salacious as the IPL scandal or perhaps as suspicious as the telephone tapping scandal, but certainly in terms of its impact, it affects vastly a great number of people than the other two issues on which the House has been engaged. Let me also say, sir, that when the Home Minister, for whom I have great respect, assumed the office of the Minister in charge of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry, Consumer Affairs, and Public Distribution, I felt that at long last these issues would get a holistic attention. I had for a long time felt that perhaps the absence of an integrated approach really was one of the principal factors behind why the issue of price rise and consumer distribution could not get the kind of overall integrated attention which that ministry needed. Unfortunately, whatever that expectation may have been, the fact remains that the issue of price rise has not received the kind of an integrated attention which the Prime Minister had enabled the ministry to take, considering that he joined together all fragmented parts of responsibilities for one unified approach. I concede, sir, there is a committee of secretaries under the cabinet secretary which meets quite frequently and monitors prices. There is also a cabinet committee under the prime minister which meets often. The minister has created a cell in the consumer affairs department to do it. There is also a board which does it. I do not want to go into the statistics of how many times each has met, whether the meetings have been coordinated or not, but the fact remains, sir, that the cell which the minister created has become a statistical cell. It had little ability to do long term demand supply projections. It has not been able to marry and symmetries really domestic trends of production or international trends of production. And in any case, sir, it is also not empowered to take the vital decisions which are needed for the price management behavior. Would you want to have a look that all the countries should buy at the right time? You should sell at the right time, not buy when international prices are disallowing, and not sell when the long term or the medium term trends in production do not allow? How can we have a better harmonization of food intelligence and management of short term food economics where you maximize the gains with the viewpoint of the country? The minister is fully capable of this. My second broad point that I would like to make here is that the Honorable Minister has to decide on five important things. He has to decide in respect of the Food Security Bill, which is an overarching consideration for the Social Securities Program. The next big issue which you have to decide is the poverty. What do you mean by poverty? When the first time the Congress used the word poverty, it meant the minimal amount of nutrition which a person needs for survival. Since then, all over the world, it has been a trend of sophistication. The Supreme Court feels that the right to live is fundamental, and if the people are healthy enough to be able to absorb the food security does not mean anything. So, should food security imply a mere calorie intake, or should it include vitamins, minimum amount of health, minimum access to clean drinking water, and sanitation facility to be able to give a minimum dignity to life? What constitutes poverty? Please decide, sir. The next big thing for you to decide, sir, is this. As we move on, apart from the scope of the bill, if you certainly wish to restrict it, please do not restrict the access to the public distribution system. Please make that universal even when you begin to circumscribe your methodology and your definition to include in it one of your preferred models on which there has been so much debate. The next thing which you need to decide is differentiated modality. There is a lot of debate on whether you are going to have a differentiated modality where some people who are getting a minimum access to food and people who are much have got much larger access to food. There is a lot of public debate on it. The next big thing which you need to decide is revamping the public distribution system versus trying more innovative methods to be able to administer the food program. I agree that you cannot dismantle today's public distribution system, and that needs to be strengthened. That includes a whole slew of things. I need not go into it. It needs better laws. For instance, my good friend here has pointed out that at a time when the prices were going up, the conviction Rates under the Essential Commodities Act were coming down at a time, for instance, when the people were facing hardships, black marketing, hoardings, and such kind of things were really going up. Full stop.